Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you today for what I feel is going to be another exciting and valuable session. I'm Eric Villanueva de la Cruz from Benilde's Theater Arts program, and I'll be one of your moderators for this session. Joining me today is one of our graduating students from the Theater Arts program, actor, model, and host, Miss Isabella Peterson. Hello, Bella. Hi.
I think I was on mute, but hi, Sir Eric. Hello, it's a pleasure to be here today as well. Thank you so much for having me, and also thank you for joining us today and spending your precious time to learn and share your thoughts with us. So I'm actually joining this session all the way from Canada. How about you, Sir Eric?
Well, I'm joining this session from Mandaluyong City, and I can feel the summer heat seeping through the walls.
Yeah, it just snowed earlier this morning, so honestly, I'm a bit jealous of you right now. Ang lamig.
Really? I would love
Yeah,
some snow.
seriously. Yeah, so I guess it's that time of year for us. But speaking of wherever you are from the world, I'd like to invite anyone who's joining us here on the Facebook Live to say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from by typing into the Facebook comment box below. Please just note that we do have around a 20-second delay because we are broadcasting live from Zoom and to this Facebook stream.
Right. Going to our webinar, we continue to navigate this unprecedented time, and so far, the only thing certain is the uncertainty of our situation. And as we transition into the new realities brought about by the pandemic, more than ever, artists are needed to imagine, realize, and manifest new visions for the future. And so we designed this webinar series for you.
Yes, artists, students, enthusiasts, or anyone who might find our sessions helpful and encouraging during this difficult period, in whatever stage of coping or recovery that you might find yourselves in. The important thing is that we be together, which incidentally is the title of this webinar series.
Right. And just a bit of information about the webinar series. BeTogether is organized by the Theater Arts program under the Arts and Culture cluster in the School of Design and Arts of the De La Salle College of St. Benilde. This webinar series is the first of many offerings of the Benilde Theater Series, or BTS, an interdisciplinary platform for practitioners, educators, and researchers, both locally and internationally, to share their significant experiences and studies in the field related to theater and the performing arts.
Yes, exactly. So, in its first season, BeTogether convenes Benildians, friends, and partners in the fields of theater and related disciplines in the spirit of mutual goodwill and cooperation. It also aims for the exchange of significant experiences and learnings in response to the current crisis and providing an opportunity to discuss and listen to valuable insights and strategies in shaping a meaningful future for the industry.
Yes, and the webinar series is divided in three strands. You have to get here, which facilitates reflections, learning points, and realizations on current mobility and platform restrictions.
We have To Get There, which examines new strategies and approaches in producing and creating productions geared towards sustainability and promotion of our practice. And finally, we have Together, which looks into the viable ways and means in which we can help the performing arts community during the pandemic.
Now, we do acknowledge that screen fatigue is real, so we encourage you to go see the webinar sessions that you feel might be useful to you and that you'll help us share the word, especially to people and groups who might benefit from our sessions. So, just quickly, before we hand it over to our speakers, a few housekeeping rules. During the session, we invite you to engage with each other on the comment section of this live stream.
Yes, please feel free to contribute your thoughts, your ideas. You can even share a link or a video or an example relating to the topic to enrich the discussion for everyone. Also, if you do have questions for our speaker, please send it through the comments. We have a wonderful team backstage, if you can call it that, backstage online. They'll be helping to manage the comments, and we'll try to get through as many questions as we can during the Q&A session after our speaker's presentation.
Yes, and more importantly, Bella, we would like to invite you to help us improve this webinar series by completing a quick survey, which will be posted occasionally in the Facebook comment section of this live stream. We are open to suggestions for future webinar topics that might interest you.
Very interesting, Sir Eric. I think I'll
Yeah.
definitely be filling it out. There's a couple things I do want to learn about. But yes, so to continue, a recording of this session will be made available on our YouTube channel in the coming weeks. So please check back to this Facebook page in the coming days for the big announcement. Also, please keep yourselves updated on our upcoming webinar sessions in April and fresh new episodes that we will be creating based on your suggestions. While you're here, you might as well like, share, subscribe, and share our page.
Like and share. And lastly, this webinar series is entirely online, free, and open to the public as part of BeNIL's fundraising collaboration with De La Salle Philippines, Kada Uno on the project Barkada Uno, BeNIL Artists Rising, #Bangon Artista, an online fundraising event that seeks to assist the most vulnerable members of the arts and cultural sectors. So please donate what you can. We will appreciate all the help we can provide. All right, that's enough of the housekeeping, Bella. Let's now go to our third and really exciting webinar episode, PA-PAMPAM, Pampering and Other Methods of Self-Care for Artists.
Yes, honestly, Sir Eric, I am so thrilled to be introducing our speaker for today's session because I know her personally from a couple of instances. I was trying to remember Kanina the first time that we met. It was actually because this speaker ended up being my makeup artist when we met on a photo shoot for a beauty company in the Philippines. And then what ended up happening was she not only made me feel beautiful externally, but she had so much incredible advice that I just felt like I was glowing from the inside out. So I'm so thrilled to be hearing what she'll be talking about today.
Yes. So just to meet our guest speaker, to learn more about her, she is a US-trained beauty expert and has been in the industry for 15 years, doing makeup and hair for magazines, commercials, and celebrities. She has been an ambassador of several brands, including Dior, Lancome, and NARS. Currently, she is preparing to launch her book on self-care and beauty.
And of course, she is our very own faculty for hair and makeup design in the Theater Arts program. We are so excited to welcome beauty expert and self-care advocate, Miss Ara Fernando.
Hello, Miss Ara.
Hi, Miss Ara.
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Sir Eric. Thanks, Bella.
Oh my God, thank you for making time to be with us and sharing your learnings and insights on self-care and beauty.
Actually, I'm so excited to be here. This is one of my favorite topics to discuss.
Right. Okay, so I think you have a presentation, a slide presentation. So Bella, let's hand it over to our speaker.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, let's begin. Welcome to PA-PAMPAM, Pampering and Other Self-Care Methods for Artists. I'm so excited for this session because it's really something that's close to my heart. Let me tell you more about myself. As Sir Eric mentioned, I have a book coming up about self-care and beauty, and I also write a column, a beauty column for Feast magazine. So it's something about self-care and beauty and spirituality. I am also a beauty expert. So other than doing hair and makeup, I do these kinds of workshops for people who want to learn more about how to improve themselves or make themselves beautiful. I'm a brand ambassador for so many brands. So I know what I'm talking about when we're talking about beauty. And lastly, I am also a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner, which means I'm also a life coach. And that really helps me help other people love themselves more and really appreciate themselves for who they are. Thank you. So let me share with you one of my favorite Bible verses. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church. This is from Ephesians 5, verse 29. And I really love this verse because it tells us about ourselves. You know, during these difficult times as artists, we are staying at home, we have our own bubble. And you know how artists are, even if you're not an artist, you go out of the house, right? And now that we're confined in all the four walls of our house, we have a lot of anxieties. We have feelings that we don't really know. We can't diagnose. It's very difficult to seek help, especially people who live alone like me. So these things we really have to list down and seek help in any way that we can. And I hope that this webinar will be really helpful to all our artists and all other people watching, right? So what is self-care? According to one of my good friends, another self-care advocate, it is creating a healthier mindset about giving ourselves value and importance. I'll make it simple. In our everyday lives, we give importance to a lot of things, especially artists, we give importance to our craft. So now that we're inside our house, we feel so frustrated because we can't do theater. We can't do our craft. We can't go to places that give us a lot of inspiration. And that will really rob us of our energy and of our love and appreciation of ourselves. And now self-care is such a big thing nowadays because it's our time to really recharge. Like a car, it won't run on its own. It needs gasoline. And we need that kind of love for ourselves so we can fully create more art or more beautiful things, or so we can give more love to people around us who has noticed na mas masungit sila ngayon compared to before the pandemic began. Diba? All these frustrations and feelings that are bottled up inside of us, if we're not mindful, if we don't try to understand where these feelings are coming from, it's just gonna explode or implode. And what happens is we have anxieties. A lot of people go through depression. A lot of people just hide in the room. They don't have a zest for life. They don't know what to do next. And a lot of artists are stuck and they don't know how to move forward. That is why I am here to help. So why self-care? Okay, a lot of people will tell you, self-care? Wala naman kami niyan dati eh. It's not just, my friend is here, Itchel Alignay. Please welcome Itchel Alignay, my very good friend and family psychologist. Okay, so why self-care? Because like a car, you really need to recharge. You have to be mindful of your needs. A lot of people, they just look at the people around them. If you're a mother, if you're a father, if you're a breadwinner, you try to supply everything for your family. You give your time, your effort, you work so hard, but you never refill that kind of love for yourself. Also, you need to find that balance. It's a constant power struggle between you and the world. Who can relate with you're gonna eat something and then your child is hungry and wants to eat what you're eating, but you're so hungry and then you give it to them? Or for example, you're so busy with schoolwork or you're busy with work, and then someone close to you has a problem and wants your time and attention. And that's a constant power struggle because you want to help out, you want to give it to them, but you're also mindful that you're tired and you need rest and you need time alone. So that is the reason why self-care is so important. And lastly, you want to be the best version of you, because if you're not your very best version, you're only giving 50% to other people or even just 25% to your craft. If you're creating something wonderful and you're so tired, who can relate that your output, for example, you're a content creator and you want to do this video, but you wake up at the wrong side of the bed and you're not in the mood. So the camera catches everything, right? So you have to try your very best to be the best version of you so you can give your all to others and your craft. So sabi ni Sir Eric, my cat usually wants to eat what I'm eating. My dog is the same. So when they give you those cute puppy dog eyes or cat eyes, you just want to give it to them because you love them, but you know you're hungry as well. So it's really a constant power struggle. So for me, self-care is a necessity. It's not an indulgence. People say, if you beautify yourself, indulgence, I can't afford that. I can't afford to do that. Excuse me. If you can give all your time to other people, if you can feed your kids, why don't you feed yourself with the things that you need, right? So let's just make it simple. You gotta eat. You gotta shower. You gotta have time for prayer, right? So if you don't set those boundaries and if you don't decide that it's really something for yourself, then there's nothing left for you to give to the world, right? So if you want to be able to create wonderful things, if you want your love tank to be so full, it's overflowing, set boundaries. But just a warning, self-care is not an excuse to really just indulge on yourself, okay? We have responsibilities that we should also be mindful of. So I'm gonna tackle 3 parts of self-care that I think will be beneficial to everyone watching right now. First is physical. It's something that you can control, okay? It's everything around you. It could be your environment, your body, the aura or the ambience of your house, everything that you can grasp. Next is mental and emotional. This is the kind of delicate parts of our self-care. You need to take time to really assess the situation, your mental state, your emotional state. And lastly is spiritual, because there are some things that we cannot control anymore, and we have to really lift up to the spirits and to the gods around us. Okay, so let's start with the physical. This is all about giving your body what it deserves. When you don't have any more energy, there's nothing to give, right? So I have several examples on how you can really focus on physical self-care. So how? First is healthy lifestyle. Could you tell me how many hours of sleep do you have in a day? Kindly type down in our comment box. Number 1, how many hours of sleep? And number 2, how many times a day do you eat? Okay, and let's wait for the comments. 5 to 6 hours. That's a pretty good number. Right? The reason why I asked how many hours of sleep you have in a day, Google tells you this, all the books tell you this. You need 6 to 8 hours of sleep in a day, right? And you have 24 hours in a day. And a lot of people, especially the hardworking ones, they spend 12 hours with their job. And then the other hours serving their family or serving other people or doing things for other people. And then you only have 5 to 6 hours for yourself. Just weigh it down. Which is more important, you or other people, right? And you cannot give what you don't have. And if you don't have enough rest, if you don't have enough sleep, your mind won't be able to create as much energy or as much creativity as you would want to give. Next is food. I've been asking how many meals you have in a day because you need nourishment and you need to eat healthy food. You have to give your body the kind of nutrition that it needs. Let me give you an example. Did you know that before you eat your food, you have to eat your fruits and vegetables first to prepare your stomach for proper digestion? So I'd like to raise your hand like this. Every meal, you should have this amount of fruits and vegetables for every meal. Okay? This is the healthy portion. Okay? So this is the amount of fruits and vegetables before you eat your full meal, like your protein and carbs. And then if you put your hand in a fist, hindi kasama to ito lang. This is the portion of protein that you should have. So it's like a piece of steak or a piece of fish or a piece of chicken. This is the size of your protein portion. And if you open your hand again and cup it halfway, guys, ito lang po yung carbohydrates natin in form of pasta, potato, rice, ganito lang po. Hindi po ganito. Just halfway, that's your carb portion. Okay? And to be fully healthy, can you do an okay sign? Okay. If you do an okay sign, this is just the amount of oil or cholesterol that you can have per meal. So imagine, every meal, 3 times a day, you need this much fruits and vegetables, this much protein, this much carbs, and this much oil. And that is the healthy portion of your meal. Now tell me, who eats like that every day, diba? Sobrang mahal ng gulay at prutas ngayon. But if you can just do baby steps and little effort, you will be on your way to having good health. And then next, for healthy lifestyle, who does their exercises or physical activity in every day? Who has lots of oil? Sir Eric. Anong oil yan? Sesame oil for Korean, Korean food, samgyupsal, mga ganyan. Diba? So what is special about physical exercises? You know, we artists, we're nocturnal beings. We wake up late sometimes and we like sleeping in, right? But if you do that and you don't have physical activity, chances are you're really on your road to negative feelings, because physical activity releases endorphins and actually make you happy. So if you're feeling sluggish, even just 5 minutes of jumping jacks can really jumpstart your day, and it will give you that energy that you need to just move forward. I'm guilty myself because I use coffee to wake me up in the morning, but lately I've been really trying to like jog in place for a couple of minutes or do my jumping jacks or just dance in the morning to really just keep the blood flowing and to keep your heart pumping. So you really need to do a little bit of physical activity to release those endorphins, especially if you're not feeling so happy that day. Next is, of course, your environment. With your healthy lifestyle, it's really important to notice the environment that you're in. So that's where you establish the routine. If goodbye samgyup, wag mo lang lagyan ng sesame oil masyado na marami. Tsaka just use the beef or the pork fat to fry your samgyup. Okay. So the reason why you want to establish a routine is because you want to break from the negative cycle. If you have been lying down in your bed all day for a week already, because I know the feeling. I have suffered anxiety and depression, especially when this pandemic started. And I didn't know what to do. I couldn't think. And the reason, kakatamad daw mag-exercise, totoo yan. Just 5 minutes, try nyo lang, no? So you have to establish a routine. So what I did when I went through a lot of anxiety and depression because we couldn't do makeup, all the events were canceled. I was fully booked for the year, but all my events and weddings were either postponed or canceled. So I felt so sad because how will I live? Okay. But I really took time to establish a routine. I decided what time I'd wake up, when I'd eat, what I can do to really break that cycle of staring, watching Netflix, or just looking at social media. You have to break out of that negative routine. Also, you have to give yourself as much time as you give others. So if you have 12 hours for work, you have to set aside for sleep, for self-care, anything here, physical, mental, spiritual. And of course, it will make you feel important. If you have a planner, kindly get it or look at your calendar and see which parts of your schedule are really for yourself. Okay? Meron kayong Google Calendar dyan. If you're on your laptop, click on that calendar and see where your name is or where you put a schedule for yourself. Okay? Because I am very guilty with this one, with this part, because the planner is just full of meetings, presentations, social, content creation, and I realized I really don't eat at the right times. I don't give myself enough rest. I don't take a step back to assess how I'm feeling. And that is why a couple of weeks ago, I had a mental breakdown. Okay, so no one is exempted from it. It will happen if you're not mindful of your needs. Okay, sabi dito, I stopped using a planner since the pandemic, sir. Who else stopped using their planner since the pandemic? I stopped using a planner, and then when I decided to really take control of my life, that's when I brought it out again. I printed a big calendar and then put it in a plastic envelope, and then I used a whiteboard to just so I can see what's going on my day. Nasayang yung Starbucks planner ko from 2019. Pwede ka pang pwede mo pang gawan ng artwork yung Starbucks planner ng 2019, di ba? So, kailangan talaga mag-decide kayo, ito para sa akin to. Hindi pwedeng lahat para sa ibang bagay. Okay, next is beauty therapy. And this is my favorite part because when we look our best, we feel our best. Magkaaminan tayo dito. Sino ang naligo na? Guilty ako dito. Sometimes I wake up late and then I have a meeting. I just go straight to my meeting. And the quality of my meeting is so different if I took time to shower, put on my makeup, wear nice clothes, kesa sa nagsuot lang ako ng jacket and then tinuloy ko yung Zoom meeting ko. Okay? So you really have to set time to wake up a certain time, especially if you have a meeting or a class. Prepare yourself because it not only makes the people you're meeting feel special, but you will also feel special as well. Okay? Also, with beauty therapy, you know, when you wash your face, when you like, because I have like beauty gadgets and stuff, if you wash your face, alam mo, sobrang, pag pandemic, na-realize mo, yung massage ay indulgence pala, no? It's really something special because before, I had a massage every week, di ba? And during this pandemic, I realized, and during my research, that, you know, the touch therapy, it releases this chemical in your brain called oxytocin and it makes you happy. It gives you happy vibes. So sana all, no? If you have family at home, you can hug them and get touch therapy. But if you're single, diba? You can just start massaging your face when you wash your face in the morning and at night. When you shampoo your hair, you can just start massaging your scalp. And that will release happy hormones that will help you get through your day and face your meetings and classes with energy and vigor. Also, with skincare and grooming, you will give importance to yourself. Sino dito, pag tumingin sa salamin sa umaga, masasabi mong, I love what I'm seeing. Yeah, raise your hand. Sabi ni Bella, massage every week, that is the life, di ba? You realize in the Philippines, sobrang mura ng massage, home service pa. But now, para kahit home service, hindi pwede. So you just massage yourself, di ba? There are a lot of gadgets to massage your body. Marami na yan sa Lazada. Just take a look. You need it for, you need touch therapy, di ba? So, tell me, sabi ni Sir Eric, I don't feel that way in the morning. This is really something I learned from my mom. Na, during my interview, because I was like promoting my beauty products, sabi ko sa kanya, ma, anong advice mo sa mga tao about beauty? Because my mom is like pinaka-banidosang tao na kilala ko. She really takes care of herself. And sabi niya, alam mo, sino pang mag-appreciate ng mukha mo, kundi ikaw. Kailangan, pagising mo sa umaga, masasabi mong you like what you're seeing. Diba? So, kunyari, you're married, you want your partner, husband, wife, to also like what he's seeing, diba? So, if you can't love yourself, how can you love other people? So, that's where grooming and self-care and skincare and makeup comes in. So, if you want to learn more about makeup, beauty, you can just message me. That will be for another session. So, it's not an indulgence, it's really a necessity. So, anything related to healthy lifestyle, beauty therapy, and establishing your routine, please invest in them because it's your investment for yourself. Next is mental and emotional part, okay? So mental is changing and protecting your minds. At sino nakaka-relate? Pag nega na yung social media, nega na yung buong araw mo. Diba? A lot of people, they just delete or deactivate their Facebook altogether because of all the news that they see. They get stressed, diba? So it's really the world around and you have to protect yourself from it. Once I open Twitter, wala na. Bad vibes na. Okay, so that's also the reason why people just delete their Twitter accounts or they never open it anymore. And I wonder what they're doing in a day, diba? When you're stuck inside at home, block, mute, unfollow, diba? If you block, mute, unfollow a lot of negative people, that's probably half of your friends list. Diba? So you have to change and protect your mindset. All those things, trying to block out negativities, trying to set it aside and not focus on them, Those are great strategies for you to protect your peace. Next is emotional, where you keep your emotions at bay. Sino dito yung bigla na lang sumasabog, galit na sila agad? Walang hindi siya parang volcano na may konting earthquake, tas may rumble, tas tsaka sasabog. I have heard that a lot are experiencing bursts na talaga. Roar! Ganun siya. Roar! Lion agad. Wala man lang buwelo. And that is because a lot of emotions are bottled up inside and we can't really release them. That's why sumasabog lang siya. And kawawa yung mga walang kamalay-malay sa paligid mo kasi hindi nila alam, bottled up na siya. It's been brewing for a long time. Sumabog na lang siya, diba? Question is, how can you do these mental and emotional self-care? Number one is brain dump. Who has heard of a brain dump? I have a brain dump here to show you guys. It's just a notebook that I use the night before and when I wake up. Okay, so sobrang weird. Wala siyang rules, okay? You don't have to create like an article or it can be bullets, it can be mga ganito kalabong mga bagay. Okay, it can be just random sketches, anything that goes to your mind, you do a brain dump. Do a brain dump before going to bed. It's not a diary. A diary kasi is just releasing your emotions. This is like just random. I can just like write adobo as part of my brain. It's your way of not unleashing but removing all the things that are bothering you, and that will help you get enough sleep. Because a lot of times we just go straight to bed and then whatever we're thinking of, we dream about it. That's why our rest or our sleep isn't as deep as we wanted it to be. Sino dito yung kapag nanaginip, continuation pa nung napanood niya, diba? So you really have to do your brain dump before you go to bed. And in the morning, do another brain dump. It pwede siyang hindi 1 hour, okay? It can just be 5 minutes na you'll just write down stuff. Pwede rin phone. Pwede mong i-type na lang siya sa notebook, notepad. Ewan ko kung anong cellphone meron ko. Pwede rin laptop. Di kasi ako techie, so may notebook lang ako. So before I go to bed, I dump it. When I wake up, I dump it. And that will clear your mind for your day. Okay? So who likes this idea, the brain dump? It's very helpful to me. Next is de-stress through passions. Okay? This is very difficult for artists because tayo, gusto natin, okay, 100%. Pag kailangan ng painting or whatever project, kailangan full out. But that's not de-stressing. That's really doing something based on standards. Kailangan tama yung lighting, tama yung performance, delivery. De-stressing through your passions is just letting the creativity out without thinking of what the world will think. Okay, if you're a singer, just sing your heart out. If you're a painter, just paint without studying or figuring out how to make the angles better or whatever. I'm not a painter, so I don't know the terms. But you have to de-stress through the passions that you've always enjoyed. What are the things that you enjoyed as a kid? Before you discovered, I want to be a painter, I want to be an actor. Nung bata ako, story time. When I was a kid, my favorite pastime that's really fun for me is to pretend I'm talking to people, like a talk show. That's why I enjoy this, because this is de-stress for me. I really love it. So think of the things that you like doing as a kid. Like, do you like painting on your wall, doodling on your notebook, or whether just singing random songs na walang lyrics, yung lyrics that don't make sense, mga ganon. And that helps you release bottled up emotions. Kaya nga, di ba, si Taylor Swift, ang galing niyang songwriter. Kasi doon niya nilalagay lahat ng bottled up emotions niya. So, you have to determine which hobbies or passions are really de-stressing for you. Don't stress about what people will think. Just you do you, darling. Next is grow your mind. Dito na yung mindset natin, okay? How do you grow your mind? Ito na tayo sa grow your mind. So there are a lot of ways for you to change your mindset. Kaya nga nauso yung self-help book aisle sa National Bookstore or wherever bookstore you wanna go to. And hindi lang siya pang, alam mo, meron tayong concept no? Kapag nasa self-help, feeling mo may mental disorder siya. Ewan ko, gano'n lang dati. Nung panahon ko, hindi ko na alam kung anong tinitingnan ng mga, iniisip ng mga tao ngayon tungkol sa self-help. But it's really for you to help yourself. If you have a preconceived notion of something, there's really a way to change it. And I can share with you the things that have really helped me. First is Think and Grow Rich. Naku, see-through yung, yung green screen. Think and Grow Rich kasi this is how you control your mind and how you manifest, dream. Who has a vision board? I have a vision board here. Ang dami kong vision board. Okay, I like vision board making because it grows my mind. So, ang dami ko. Naka-plastic pa. Okay, so I unload all my dreams and hopes on a vision board, and that helps me visualize where I want my life to go. I also read a lot of books like The Secret, stuff like that. Grow your mind. If there's something na you're stuck with, like a negative, like a trauma, for example. Now, yung trauma, medyo deep yung trauma di ba? But if you're traumatized by this pandemic, and you want to change how you see it and how you think about it, there are a lot of books that can really help you grow. Sabi nga nila, di ba, if you're feeling stuck, you just read, di ba? And that will help you learn more about how you can see things in a more positive light, help you get to know yourself better, know where you're coming from, and change the way you see the world. Next is spiritual. So it's really recharging from a higher source. Dito na yung part na, so I've done everything. I've done physical. I'm so beautiful. My schedule is really on point. My mental state, my mindset is strong. My emotions, talagang sure na ako dyan. Pero ba't parang I'm still stuck, okay? So I've been here at this stage, and this is now where the spiritual self-care comes in. So you have to recharge. Meron akong TikTok video about this na kailangan mo mag-recharge from a higher source or a source that has overflowing love. So how do we do this? Number one is gratitude journal. Di ko naman makita yung gratitude journal ko, but I have a planner which I use as a gratitude journal. So I write my gratitude every day. Yeah, de-stressing kasi yung scrapbooking. So I have this. Yeah, nahiya. Okay, so why is a gratitude journal so helpful for your mind, heart, body, spirit? It's really noticing the little things that you have. Who here does a gratitude journal? You write things that you're grateful for. Grateful for the air, grateful for the food that you ate, grateful that you have a house. I realized this nung nag-Ulysses, kasi nag-swimming ako sa ilog namin dito, kasi taga Marikina po ako. And then, I was just so comfortable with the life that I had. And then, I complained about, my situation. I can't do makeup, ganyan. And then, Ulysses happened. And then, syempre, nawala kami ng tubig, pero at least may bahay kami, hindi lumubog yung bahay namin. And then, I came to think na, teka, maybe I'm just looking at the wrong things. And I need to start looking at what I have and appreciating it. Kasi if you think positive, a lot of positive things will happen to you. If you think negatively, then your day will just be negative the whole day. Kasi you attract what you think, diba? I don't have a gratitude journal, but I have a gratitude rock. And whenever I hold it, I thank God. That's a great idea. Pwedeng hindi journal, pwedeng rock. Ako on my Facebook, kasi nga, accountability, I have a gratitude folder where I post the things that I'm grateful for. So at the end of the year, I can see the things that made my year wonderful. So it's really your choice how you want to see your life. You can see it as, ano ba yan, kulong ako dito sa bahay, or ano ba yan, mag-isa lang ako, ang hina naman ng racket ko, ganon, hindi ako makagawa ng art. You can see it as that, or appreciating what you have. Ooh, I have a laptop. Therefore, I can create art through technology. Or, hey, I have wonderful internet. I can research on things that I can do, diba? So it's really setting your mindset to face and to look forward, rather than just negativity and then hide in your room and do nothing. You want to be productive. Next is meditation. Ito yung pinakamahirap sa mga maraming iniisip. If you have a lot of things in your mind, comment down in the comment section, okay? Meditation, pwedeng hindi siya 1 hour. I know people, 1 hour kaya nila yung parang silence. Tapos may music lang ng nature. Kaya nila 1 hour. Ako parang baka 10 minutes pa lang iniisip ko ng ano pa yung masarap kainin mamaya. Diba? May mga ganon, diba? So, meditation really clears your mind. And what I do is, I spend like maybe 5-10 minutes dumping the things in my mind. And then I do a 10-minute meditation where I just breathe in and out, listen to the sounds around me. And this is very important because it will relax your body and it will give you a clear mind. Sa neuro-linguistic programming, ito gamit na gamit namin kasi whenever you just let go of the things that are bothering you, that's when your subconscious becomes active and then you see things clearly. I meditate during my morning bike rides. Ooh, that's nice kasi nagbabike ka, so physical activity, so you release a lot of endorphins. And then, pag morning bike ride, may nature and green and nature, it recharges you. And then yung quiet or kung may music ka, then your mind becomes more relaxed. Okay siya. That's a great idea. Meditation during bike rides. Kaya yung yoga, di ba? Talagang kahit yung upo ka lang, nakakatulong talaga siya. Meditation, I have the hardest time with this. Parang I always feel hungry when I try to sit still for a long time. Bella, you can just sit down, time it, 5 minutes, just release the stuff in your mind, breathe in and out, you'll be fine. Hindi kailangan 1 hour. From Jadine, Christy Ledesma, mindfulness exercises are great too if you can't do long meditations. Tama to. On Spotify, you can see a lot of meditation playlists, kahit one song lang, and then breathe in and out. You can do that. Or you can play the meditation playlist and then write in your brain dump. That can also work, especially do sa mga magaling mag-multitask. Hindi ako magaling mag-multitask, so kailangan pa isa-isa lang talaga siya. And lastly, prayer. Ito na yung talagang surrendering it to the source. Okay, you need a time for prayer. Hindi ito yung mga prayer before meal, ganon. It's really knowing what's in your heart and knowing what's in your mind and just surrendering it to God or surrendering it to a higher source. Depends on your belief, religion, faith. You have to just let go of the things you can't control. What can you control? Physical, diba? What can you control? How you change your mind, or how you see the world. But some things like the pandemic, you can't control that. And that one, you can surrender. Masamang ugali ng ibang tao, basher, ganyan, you can't control that, but you can pray for them. Diba? And the higher source will be here. God will be here to give you and protect you and lead you to where you should be. Diba? Yan, sabi nga ni Rafael, Kuya Jess is all we need. As a person from Glenn, as a person who overthinks, I do meditation before I exercise to relax and breathe the right way. Wow, sana all. May meditation na, may exercise pa. Tama yan, sir. Tama. Glenn Alarcon. Yan. Ang galing. Meron kayong mga meditation and exercise. Ako kailangan pa isa-isa. Hindi pwede talagang sabay-sabay. Good job. Okay. Sana all may bike. O, magbilihan na kayo ng bike. Nakasale na sila ngayon kasi talagang lahat ng tao nagbabike na. Okay, so here are a few key points to make it understandable. Kasi alam mo yung self-care, it's being used in a lot of platforms. And a lot of beauty sites use this kasi, to get sales, diba? But things to remember when we're talking about self-care. Number one, self-care should be simple. It should be doable. Hindi yung pupunta ka sa spa, kasi self-care ko to. Self-care ko magpa-spa. Parang wala namang spa ngayon, diba? So you have to see what you have. I have a husband who can massage my back, or I have a garden where I can like be a plantita and embrace and absorb all the nature, diba? So it can be simple. It doesn't have to be extravagant. Travel kasi yung self-care ko. Hindi ka nga makatravel. So let go of the things you can't control and look around you and see little things that you can control, and you can decide what kind of self-care you can do for you. Next, it should be quick and easy. Busy ang mga tao ngayon. Sino nakaka-relate with the online classes, online work from home? We're busier now. parang companies have realized na, uy, pwede pala to, no? Pwede i-maximize. Magtrabaho ka ng 8 hours, tapos pati yung travel before and after, kunin na rin namin kasi ginagawa nyo naman yan, di ba? Especially for teachers, di ba? Dati, inuuwi natin yung work natin, yung mga grades. Ngayon, we prepare for the next day, we do our next day, and then we prepare again for the next day. Parang talagang we're so jam-packed, di ba? So you have to decide on self-care that's very quick and easy. Okay, today I'm gonna spend an extra minute or two massaging my face while I wash it, di ba? Simple lang yan. Kasi with today's hustle and bustle, you have to choose something that won't take all day. Baka mamaya, nag-meditate ka, inabot ka na ng 3 oras, nakalimutan mo yung class mo. Diba? So, you have to decide on things that are doable and quick and easy. And lastly, consistent. Consistent. Type it down below. Kailangan consistent siya. You need to give yourself as much care as you give others, and this includes your work. Okay? So, if you can log into Zoom every day, I am sure that you can wash your face and put on sunblock or moisturizer every day. If, ouch daw sa consistency. There's a comment here. The secret is the book that really helped me have a better mindset. Yes, law of attraction is very powerful. Did you know that a lot of my dreams on my dream board, ever since I was young, talagang a lot of them come true because I set my mind to it and I just attract everything I need to be able to get there. So talaga important yung mindset and a dream board. Okay? So balik tayo sa consistency. Okay? So you have to be consistent. If you can log in to your meetings every day, if you can spend an extra hour or two before going to bed to finish the work, I am sure you can spend 10 minutes doing physical exercise, every meal eating healthy, showering before the meetings, or prepping yourself so you can look presentable to your class or to your work. So you have, nako, Scorpio, Sagittarius rising, Sag din po ako. So I'm a free spirit. Kaya yung consistency, it's also something difficult for me, but my suggestion with consistency is alarm. I have an alarm for everything. I have an alarm for feeding my dog. I have an alarm for posting on social media. I have an alarm for all my Zoom meetings. So, naka-time block po ako. And this is something that I really share with a lot of people that I talk to having problems with consistency. I time block everything and naka-alarm siya para pag nag-alarm siya, talagang drop it and then do the next schedule. Ganon. So, it really helps me make the most of my day. So, are we committing to doing self-care that's simple, quick and easy, and be consistent with it? Be committed. Okay, next, before you wrap up, so let me leave you with something that I hope will remind you to do self-care. Caring for yourself is an act of survival. If you don't take care of yourself, you will dry up and shrivel up and hide in your own little world feeling miserable. Who wants to be miserable, right? You want to thrive. Even through this pandemic, hindi natin alam po hanggang kailan to. That's something we cannot control. But what you decide to do right now and what you decide to do for yourself right now will lead you to a better tomorrow. So you cannot give what you do not have. So fill yourself up with love in any way so you can contribute more to others. So that is it for my self-care talk. I hope that's very helpful. You can find me on social media for more self-care tips and motivational videos. I have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's my part for today, and thank you so much for engaging. Back to our wonderful hosts.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Ara. That is such a wonderful presentation, right, Bella? I think Bella's still on.
Yes. Hi. Yes. No, honestly, I'm almost distracted right now because I was taking so many notes throughout the whole presentation. So I'm just trying to remember, and I think the easiest way to sort of synthesize everything you were teaching us, Miss Ara, is that it comes in three parts. There's the physical, there's the mental and emotional, and then there's the spiritual. And oh my gosh, there's so many good advice and insights, grabe. I was
I
really taking so
know.
many notes.
What is amazing about, well, she also teaches in the program, and what is amazing and what I've realized recently is that if I could, I would sit in on their classes actually, and I would love to know more about this particular topic. So if you guys want to know more about this, please answer a quick survey so that you can tell us if you need an expansive session about this particular topic. So now we open the session for some questions from our audience. Please send it through the comment section of this live stream. We have a wonderful team of Jello, Kate, JD, and Rafa, and Anne managing your comments on social media. And on Zoom, we have here with us this amazing team of Glenn, Shema, Bessie, Meryl, Jerry, and Rachel.
Yes, so thank you so much to the whole team that's helping us to manage all the comments and questions. So do keep sending them in through Facebook. It's been really fun reading them so far. We'll try to get through as many of the questions as we can, but if we run out of time, we do encourage you to continue the conversation online through various social media channels. You can tag our speakers as well using the social media handles that they provided on the poster. And please also do not forget to use the hashtag Beta so that others can also learn from your thoughts. So again, we really invite you to engage with each other on the comments section. Go ahead, feel free to share those thoughts, those questions and ideas. Just keep them coming. And if you even have a link or a book suggestion, like I think I saw Rafael Canino was suggesting the Secret, anything that you think could contribute to the conversation and make it more fruitful for everyone. I actually have a question, sir. Can I kick us off?
Yeah, go start off.
So Miss Ara, you mentioned earlier that you are I believe a certified NLP, so neuro-linguistic programmer. So I wanted to ask you, what exactly is NLP and how have you found that that helps you and the people that you coach in their lives through NLP?
I found about NLP through church. It was offered as a program to really help you get over your traumas. And me being a survivor of abuse, and I have a lot of other traumas in my past, I felt that I needed it so I can fully understand myself because I was stuck in a place where I didn't know where I was going and what I can do. I just know I'll do makeup forever, but I don't know what to do next. Do you get that? Like, okay, you'll do your craft and then okay after. So I was stuck, okay, and I couldn't really perform well because I had certain triggers that made me a really bad person. Parang, have you felt like you get angry but you don't know why?
Yeah.
And those are really triggers that I understood through NLP. So neurolinguistic programming is a way that your mind works. It's like an iceberg. There's this iceberg principle that what you see is what's on top, right? So our subconscious is under the ocean, river.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that we cannot control. Our traumas, emotions, our past experiences, they're all hidden there. But whenever there's a trigger, it just comes out.
Right.
And then you don't understand what's going on. So I studied that and tried to understand how I can move my way through all the traumas and how I can be an empowered woman. And that's when I learned more about myself, and that's when I learned more about other people. So before, ang dami kong kaaway, okay? So dati, matrigger lang ako, okay, unfriend, okay? I don't understand you. So now, with neurolinguistic programming, I can understand where people are coming from. So I know their traumas, I know where their certain emotions are coming from, why they react that way. And so I can build a community around me that I can just see positivity, and I come from a point of contribution that I can really help them understand themselves more. And I can understand themselves more. Also, so that it creates a great group. I really studied it for my group as well because I have a team of makeup artists and I wanted to be an effective leader. So by coming from a point of understanding, you can really know how to say certain things to make them more efficient because you have different learning strategies, or people learn differently, visual, auditory, or actual, right? So if you know NLP, you can really maneuver. Maneuver. So powerful, diba? But you can be a great leader if you're a production manager or if you're a director. If you have a certain knowledge of NLP, you can get your message across to a certain person better because you
Yeah.
adjust their way of learning. Yeah.
Right. What is amazing about what I'm hearing right now is that uh, what initially started as a way to help yourself, you also sort of use to help others, and then in the end also again help you, right? So that's
Yes.
what's actually amazing. You know, everything is actually linked or connected in such a way. So we have a number of questions now from Facebook, from Darcy Fate. I have instances where I overthink, and even having a brain dump journal or scrap idea notebooks, I'm still struggling with it. Are there other self-help routines that I can incorporate with my overthinking self?
Really good question.
That's
Yeah.
a good question. Well, number one, when you overthink, sometimes it's your conscious mind that's running. So this is a little bit of NLP. Your conscious mind is something controlled by everything around you. Okay, your critical mind, so there's three levels. Your conscious mind, that's everything. Don't do that, that's bad. Okay, things that society tells you. And that's why you overthink, ginawa ko to. Dapat pala hindi. I should do this tomorrow kasi sabi, kailangan gawin ko to. So that's your conscious mind. Okay, it's controlled by an environment. The critical mind is something that protects what's deep inside. I really want to sing. Pero
Mm,
sabi kasi, kailangan maganda ka para maging singer. Kailangan ganyan. So that's where the overthinking comes from. Okay? So you have to be aware and mindful of, okay, this is what society dictates. Okay? I'm overthinking because, okay, I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. My body isn't pretty. But that's conscious. That's what the culture tells you. That's what your family tells you. That's what your surroundings tell you. So overthinking, if you have a brain dump, that's great. But I suggest read more about things that will help you love yourself more.
right.
You can write down things like that you appreciate about yourself. Like, I appreciate me being able to be creative given limited resources, or I appreciate myself because I'm jolly, even if they think it's overpowering. Ganon. So write things that you know you have. Yung gratitude journal, helpful yan because you realize, people tell me I'm chubby, but hey, I love my curves. I don't get cold at night. Yung mga ganon. So I'm not sure where your overthinking comes from. It's really something we have to assess, but I hope that helps. You just be mindful of the dictates of society and
Right.
start thinking and accepting what's inside and knowing that it comes from truth and that you're created that way. And there's really nothing wrong with how God made you because God never makes mistakes.
Nice.
So I see that there's another question here from a Kate Loreno. Can you give us some book recommendations that can help with self-care, especially with people who are suffering with anxiety, and also maybe just some of your favorite books?
Okay, my favorite, because I want to be rich, so I have Think and Grow Rich. But there's a Think and Grow Rich for women. It's new. So that's very helpful kasi mas women empowerment siya. But I have this. I don't know if maraming version to, but this is the Confident Woman devotional. And it's filled, I'm very religious, so it has Bible verses and reflections on life and being a woman. And it really helps you take a step back and reflect on your life, reflect on the word, and see how it applies to your life right now and what you can do to improve your life and see where you want your life to go.
All right. Next question from Rafael Adasa, asking for a friend. I'm currently in so much stress and in constant pressure with deadlines, and I tend to pour out all my pent-up stress to the people I love. What do I do? Kasi po nakakasakit na ako ng ibang tao.
Ooh,
Placed.
memories.
This is a thing, yeah.
Okay, I've experienced this doing grades. Okay. Okay. What ang strategy ko, I just really tell people around me, wait lang, I have deadlines. So if you warn people about it, kasi self-care is not just, something you do for yourself. It's a community effort. Diba? It takes a village to live a very fruitful life. So if you have people in your house, if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, if you're with people, warn them. Hell week ngayon, wait lang. Okay, give me space. Kasi if you don't tell them, they're not mindful. They feel na you're always up and about, you have energy, but they don't know na naubos ka na pala. So it's really proper communication between you and the people around you. Ako sinasabi ko sa Facebook, okay, be right back doing grades or be right back month end. I have deadlines. Parang ganon. So at least people know they can't just randomly call me or chat with me because I really need to finish the things I have to do.
Yeah, that's actually a really good advice. I mean, I am doing something like that with my friends. Even years back, I have a tendency to hibernate and hide. So just so that they won't get angry, because my best friend will get mad because I disappear for a couple of weeks, not replying and stuff. So I kind of developed this habit of telling her, oh, I'm gonna hibernate. So when that happens, they kind of know now. Okay, if he's ignoring the text or the messages, it's because he is hibernating, he's recharging and stuff like that. That's really good advice. I agree. It's about communication, communicating with your friends or your family.
Life is peaceful that way. Kasi they'll adjust. The problem with miscommunication is you can't expect people to guess how you're doing. You have to tell them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm seeing here as well, we have an insight from Glenn Alarcon on Facebook. Whenever I overthink, place that into good use, maybe through my work, or place those thoughts into building new ideas. In order to relax naman, I listen to music. Better if I can sing the song. Jogging can actually help you space out and relax your thoughts. I think there's something very interesting about the connection between like the body and the mind. So for myself personally, I struggle with anxiety, and I know already from experience that any kind of, like, sometimes they tell you like, oh, your diet will help, or maybe you can try medication. But I know that for myself, the only thing that has helped is physical exercise.
Oh, endorphins kasi yan eh. If you do physical exercise, blood is pumping. So parang energetic yung body mo. And then endorphins, parang ready to face the day. For me, when I go through a lot of this stress, una-una sa lahat, my advice, if you feel like crying, you cry it out. There's no rule, okay? If you don't cry, it will be there for a very long time. And it will be embedded in your subconscious. One day sasabog yan. Okay, and then you'll feel sorts of negative feelings. You don't know where it's coming from, but it's from your subconscious trying to get out. So sometimes people tell you, oh, yung umiiyak, weak yan, ah. Don't cry. Don't get mad. Feelings are valid. So if you feel mad, if you feel happy, just let it out. Because we're human beings. We're entitled to our emotions. It's not bad or good. It's emotions.
Right.
Diba? So you have to acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge your emotions, you're a robot, and then you're not being your authentic self.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we have another question from Ann Domingo. What advice can you give to those who are shy about painting their feelings away or singing their frustrations out? Because there are people around them who make fun or mock their way of releasing stress and emotions.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that happens actually.
Don't post it on social media.
True.
Kasi, we're all into this social media phase. We kind of put our lives out there, diba? But you have to accept that once you put it on a platform, it becomes public property. And people have their own opinion about your craft, your artwork. If you just wanna paint your heart out or sing your heart out, you're doing it for yourself. You don't need an audience for it. You don't need affirmation for it. You appreciate it because you do it for you. So my number one advice, don't put it in public. Get a private folder. Put all your friends there, your enabler friends who will just keep boosting you up. Piliin mo na yung friends mo kasi kung choosy ka na nga sa food, kailangan choosy ka rin sa friends. Okay? You need your friends to keep validating you. Tell them, okay, I'm going through a difficult phase. I need you to cheer for me. I'm going to create a folder. I'll put all my pictures there or whatever, my journey there. Please boost my confidence. And if they're real friends, syempre, they'll support you. And then you'll feel good about your talent.
I have like a super quick lang question to sort of tack onto that because of something you mentioned and it's related to it. Because I know, Miss Ara, that you are very active on TikTok. You have a huge following. And I think something that comes with that territory, anytime you're in the public eye, you're gonna have mga bashers and haters. So sort of related to this, what is the best response to that kind of negative feedback? Because sometimes even if you try to be private about it, maybe you'll still experience it from the people around you. So what's your advice on handling that kind of conflict?
I have a lot of those, especially last night.
Oh wow.
Especially last, I posted something about God being the source of everything, and you know how people are with religion and
Right.
Yeah.
love. There's a lot of opinions about it. But I just learned through time that the number one best thing to do with bashers and enemies is to number one, pray for them, because I can't control their thoughts, their whatever, they can do whatever kasi public nga yung platform, di ba? Pray for them, be the bigger person, wag mo nang patulan kahit may na-type na ako kagabi. Parang I wanted to, but I always think that if I reply, if I defend myself, then I'm stooping to their level, to their mindset. And I wanted to be a bigger person. I wanted to come from a point of understanding. And so instead of fighting or thinking of a remark or a retort, I'd rather just think maybe kulang sila sa love. Or maybe
Right.
no one introduced faith to them. No one guided them. And yun, tsaka ako dinadaan sa third strategy ko. Itawa na lang yan. So I reply with laughing smiley faces, mga ganon, or mga, I just joke about it, and then that makes me feel good kasi tinawanan ko na lang. And then I can move forward. Yun.
Yeah, well, that's actually very big of you to be able to do that, and also difficult, to be able to just let it go and not really comment back or react to those negative comments. But also, I do agree that when you respond to those negative comments, it's kind of making it valid. Also,
Mhm.
if you put too much attention to it. Okay, right. Okay. So we have another question from Darcy Fate, asking for a friend. Everybody's asking for a friend.
Everyone has friends here.
Yeah, they keep prioritizing. They keep prioritizing other people first than themselves, and they only realize it when we point it out. And they're significantly leaving out their well-being. What should I say or do to help them out realize that?
Okay, so ano na to it really depends on the person. Depende sa friend mo. Okay, if you're asking for a friend. We as friends or family members, we can only do so much. But the decision is still with the person going through it. Okay, so you can suggest books, you can give them links. Ako kasi mahilig ako magparinig. Like, I'll post it on my story because I know binubview niya yung stories ko. So I'll put a quote there that will empower them. Always remember that your brain only recognizes positives. So if you have like quotes that you want to share that have the words don't or stop, your brain thinks go. Okay, so whenever you want to post something online na parinig or you want to help a friend, think of everything that's positive. Instead of say, don't do this, say, do this instead. Or, yes.
I actually learned something about that positive. The world doesn't recognize the negative. The universe doesn't recognize negatives. I learned that a couple of years back. It's related to law of attraction. They're saying that the universe doesn't also recognize negatives. So when you wish, you don't say don't because they don't. Yeah, it will happen.
It will happen talaga.
Yeah.
Parang ano yan, that's why reverse psychology happens. Don't smoke. And then people, diba? Kasi the brain just recognizes positive. They will turn everything negative into positive. So for Darcy's friend, if you want to tell them stop prioritizing other people, what will happen is they will prioritize other people. So you can just tell your friend, love yourself more. Or set time for yourself. Give them specific solutions. Instead of, wag mong gawin yan. Hindi dapat yan. Hindi gagawin nila talaga yun.
Yeah, right. Okay. That makes sense, actually.
That's, oh my gosh, so I'm just letting it sink in. Galing, actually, because I had never heard that before, but it makes sense that the brain doesn't notice the negative So for example, for me, if I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not late. I hope I'm not late. Syempre, I'm gonna be late. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. So we have another question from Chell. Should I speak up when I feel I'm not getting what I deserve?
Whoa. Not asking for a friend, ah? Okay. um, for me, yes, you should really speak up. But before you speak up, please clear your mind. You have to know what you deserve. Kasi instead of saying, "Hey, I'm not getting I'm not getting what I deserve," the person you're talking to is not psychic. They wouldn't know what you deserve. You have to tell them, "Okay, I'm not getting what I deserve. I think you should spend more time with me. I think we should eat healthier food. I think we should have this." Give them specific solutions. Because communication is key. And whenever, di ba sabi nga nila, iba yung umasa sa pinaasa. So, humugot. Okay, iba yung umasa sa pinaasa, di ba? So, minsan sabihin natin, akala ko gusto niya ako, hindi pala. Pero kasi, hindi ka nga psychic. So, if you like a person, tell them. So, in this case, if you feel like you're not being treated well, you have to speak up, but you have to tell them how you want to be treated.
Yeah. And in that sense, it's very constructive as well, offering a solution rather than demanding for a solution, actually.
Yes.
I do have another question. When is self-care too much? I think you kind of touched on it a little bit at the beginning because, with all of this stress and vulnerabilities, even before the pandemic, some people tend to, internalize too much this need to care for themselves. But is there a point wherein self-care can be too much that you're just making it as an excuse already? And it leads to like a spiraling thing that, you get stuck in the end.
Yes. Lalo na pag marami kang pera. That's where Lazada and Shopee comes in. I deserve this. I'll get this. I deserve this. I get this. I'll get a new lipstick because I deserve this, diba? Number one, if you're forgetting your responsibilities and you just say, I deserve this, I feel sad, I deserve this, that's one red flag. Okay? Number two, pag wala nang laman yung pera mo, yung wallet mo or bank account mo, yung medyo 50-50 ka na, it means you're just spending too much on yourself. Okay? Number two, red flag yan. And number three, if you look at your life and you're not getting anywhere. If there's no growth, you're just stuck in a certain place. You're just loving yourself, but you're not expanding yourself. Then that's the biggest red flag na you're overindulging in self-care.
Boom, mic
Wow,
drop.
mic drop. So again, because not that I think I'm guilty of this, but this is good to know. So the three red flags are: number one, if you're neglecting your responsibilities and you're letting people down. Number two, if you are spending outside of your means and it's harming the people around you and yourself. And then number three, if you're not experiencing any growth in your life.
Yeah, if there's no change, it means you're just indulging. You're making your depression or anxiety as an excuse to do self-care.
Right. So self-care is not equivalent to indulgence.
No.
Okay.
Great.
It's a necessity.
And sometimes it's not even about spending also. It could be, just not doing anything at all for entire week. And call it
Netflix binge because I need it to unstress, something like that, right?
Tapos 1 week, hindi na kumakain yung mga anak mo. Ganon, diba? Because you've watched Netflix all week, because you feel like you deserve it, pero you forgot, your laundry, or simple things lang you forget because you feel like you wanted to watch something. So that's a red flag.
Well, that's also true na sometimes it's people na maraming pera din because they can afford to do that, right?
Yeah.
We know of people who have people to take care of. So yun din usually yung debate, all of these issues on mental health. Some people kasi say that we can't afford to have a mental health issue because we don't have money. So what do you think about that?
Mahirap kasi magka-mental health ngayon. Especially if you're diagnosed. Medicines are so expensive.
Right.
Therapy is so expensive. And a lot of people right now, they don't even know that they have a mental disorder. I didn't know I had depression until a doctor told me I had depression. For me, akala ko lang parang nasa slump lang ako ng creativity. But after all my blood tests, check-ups, ganyan, parang sabi niya, I think you're depressed. So parang okay naman ako. Kasi we're so in denial, diba? And that's so expensive. That is why we're advocating self-care right now. Before things get worse, you have to be mindful of what you're going through right now. Instead of trying to hide it, and then in the end, sobrang laking problema na pala niya. And it's a harder situation to diagnose or to understand.
Yeah. We have another question from Facebook. What is the best advice for people who are in a relationship who are currently experiencing LDR, lockdown relationship?
Ang dami nagtatanong sa akin ito sa TikTok.
Oh my God. There's a term, lockdown relationship.
Yeah. A lot of couples are breaking up because they can't see each other.
Yeah.
And it's understandable kasi, diba, you know the 5 love languages. Five love languages, diba? So, what I really advise people going through this is to be creative. Ganito yung advice ko eh. If yung nangyayari ito kapag yung part mo quality time tsaka physical touch yung love language. And that's very difficult. And I told them na if ganon, you can send something that your partner can touch or hug. And then you can do a virtual date. Pili ka ng background. I saw this from someone's feed. Pili ka ng background. Okay, let's date in Paris. Okay, Parisian background. Okay, have French food delivered. And then you eat together. That's quality time. Play music. That's your auditory appreciating the French music. Diba? You can send a gift to your partner kung ganon. Then, hug it. Put your perfume there. Your partner can smell you. So at least your senses are heightened and it feels like you are together. Ganon. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, we have comments from Facebook. Ginger Nolasco said communication is the key. And Richelle Hernandez Balbieran said, thanks for sharing, Ara.
Thank you,
Rochelle.
My batchmate.
Yes. Oh, I remember this fella. That's why it was amazing when we got connected because we have so many mutual connections. Pala. So there's another question here. This one is good. From Anonymous. How do you gain self-confidence?
I also have a TikTok about that. It's number one, know your insecurities. What are you insecure about? Your physical appearance? Your talent? Diba? Kasi doon galing yung self-confidence. And it's not just that, but you have to dig deep where the lack of self-confidence comes from. For example, I feel like I'm not pretty because my crush told me I wasn't. And I brought that until forever. That's why I became a makeup artist, to make myself pretty. So sometimes the decisions that we have throughout our lives is deeply rooted in something that caused you pain and started this self-confidence issue. So list it down now that you know, okay, I'm not confident about this. You take a step back, look at it, third person, and see, okay, I felt like this because what? Did someone tell me to? Did I see it from somewhere that it's not bad? How do I feel about it? Do I feel confident that I can do it? And then you start growing. You start reading books on how to get better at it. Or you start looking for self-help books that to make you appreciate what you have and not look at other people. Kasi yung self-confidence, madalas yan environmental factors, not really from within. So if those are things you can't control, opinions of others, opinions of society, then that's something you can grow within you. And when you're an expert at something, kahit anong sabihin ng mga tao, hindi ka affected. Because you know your
I agree. Yeah. So we're down to our last question for this session. I have this question actually. There's this tendency for people to wear their stress or overwork as a badge. Like we see posts of people that I'm doing all of these things. What is your advice on that? Because it becomes a trend or a habit for some people and people who see it, it becomes a validation of being
Mm,
overworked or being stressed because it's being worn as a badge.
that's true. Actually, maraming trend that they make things cool. Bad guys are cool, mga ganon. A lot of people make things trend and it's so negative that it makes people feel, okay, pag hindi pala ako stressed or overworked, I'm not cool. Or I'm not part of the in crowd kapag ganon. So, what I do is I counter post. If I see something like that, I'll counter post and do something to help other people realize that this is wrong. You can't make things cool kasi and then it's gonna be a vicious cycle if the whole family thinks overstressing is cool. Imagine how that household will be. If, for example, sa family ko, everyone's so hardworking and doing lots of things. We're a schedule kind of family. So I'll start introducing fun things. I'll start thinking of other new things to introduce to the schedule. Because if you break that cycle, then parang bubble yan eh. If you break it, then the comfort zone becomes bigger and then you can do more things. So in terms of overstressing, if it's cool, take it out of your timeline because it's really self-preservation. You don't have to follow the trend. You don't have to be cool, but you have to know deep inside that you're doing what you're destined to do and you're serving you. Diba?
I think that's I think that's really beautiful, honestly, Miss Ara. I think especially for a younger generation that we're so present on social media and we want to fit in, we want to be part of the crowd. It takes a certain kind of bravery to resist it and to try and well, honestly, to try and inundate the social media platform with more positivity and more compassion and kindness and understanding in a world where, like, honestly, like just speaking for like, I'm like millennial slash Gen Z, I'm kind of a cusper, but honestly, it's very trendy to kind of be like negative on purpose, to be a little bit jaded and cynical. And I've never resonated with it. And sometimes I am scared to share uplifting content because if feeling ko it's not cool, it's funner to be kind of like a bad
Mm.
kind of person. So very interesting. Sir Eric?
Oh, well, what I like about this particular session is that some of these self care tips, the idea of self care in itself, we always hear about it and it's all over online, but it's hard to get into. So what I liked about this session, Miss Ara, is how you shared self care by small, motivating, and practical steps. Like I like the packaging actually, the way you call it, like
Thank you.
quick bites, like a quick, consistent methods of self care, which is, I think, achievable.
Thank you.
Right. So thank you very much, Miss Ara. I hope we have more time, but uh, this is the only time that we have for this particular session. So thank you very much. We encourage our audience to continue the conversation online through various social media channels. You can tag our speakers using the social media handles they have provided on our poster. Please don't forget to use the hashtag beta so that others can also learn from your thoughts.
Yes. So again, thank you once again for joining us. And if you would like to continue the conversation, you can find Miss Ara Fernando on Facebook at Ara Fernando and on Instagram and TikTok at the Ara Fernando. You can find Eric Villanueva de la Cruz on Twitter at the Plutonium. That's the PLUTONIUM. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Izzy Peterson. That's IZZYPEDERSEN. So once again, we invite you to help us continue improving this webinar series by completing a quick survey, which will be posted occasionally in the Facebook comments section of the live stream. And we're always open to more suggestions for future webinar topics that might interest you and help you as we're all navigating through this current crisis.
Yes, and a recording of our session will be made available on our YouTube channel in the coming weeks. So please check back to this Facebook page in the coming days for the announcement.
So again, please continue to keep yourselves updated to our webinar sessions. We have more coming up in April and fresh new episodes we will be creating based on your suggestions while you're here, please like, share, subscribe. Let's continue the conversation and keep sharing positive content on social media.
Yeah, and speaking of our upcoming webinars. Bella, what do you have for tomorrow?
Yes, so tomorrow, March 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m. Again, that's tomorrow, March 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m. We have storytelling, promoting theater in a post-pandemic environment with advertising and communications maverick, Mr. Adi Peña, and social media and communications expert, Miss Julia Enriquez. We also have more sessions lined up for April, and they are curated and produced just for you. So please continue checking this Facebook page for updates.
And lastly, episode allow us to thank those who have helped in making this series possible. The School of Design and Arts, headed by our Dean, Architect Dottie Acela Domingo.
The Vineyard Arts and Culture Cluster, headed by Associate Dean Magdalena De Leon. Our faculty and students in the Theater Arts program. Benilde's Culture and Arts Unit with Miss Louise Diane Estrella as OIC Director.
Our media and communications partners, Cultural Promotions Team, headed by Ms. Julia Enriquez. And we would, of course, like to thank the invaluable efforts of our OJTs from the Theater Arts and Production Design programs.
So yes, I guess without further ado, that concludes this incredible webinar. So just to summarize, Ms. Ara had incredible insights about self-care. It's physical, it's emotional and mental, and it's spiritual. And also self-care is not an indulgence, or it shouldn't be an indulgence. Rather, self-care is a means of survival, especially in a time like this. So once again, we thank you all for joining us today, and we really hope to see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel for our next webinar.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.